Today, we're looking at Diamine Pink. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. I get inks, test them, and share the results with you. Now, Diamine Pink is a pink ink. To make sure I have a range of experience with this ink, I do the writing samples. I put the ink into a different pen per day. I then put it into a cross Bailey with a medium nib to take my notes for this video. Before we get to the writing samples, let's look at the sciencey bits. Up first is the chromatography. And I agree with Vita that I've learned a lot by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. I put a line of ink down and immediately put it into water for 10 to 15 seconds. And what we see is this pink pushes up, although it's not completely fleeing away, it's pushing up, and it is just pink. It's a pure pink dye. The one on the right, I let dry for 10 minutes before I dunk it into water. And the most notable difference that's really going on is the pink that's pushing up is much thicker as it's going up. It's a much more noticeable and uniform pink moving its way up the page. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it might be to clean from your pen. Now I let the smear dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, it handles itself very well. The extra fine is still an extra fine. There's no real blooming. This looks perfectly safe for a note-taking situation. Makes it a nice substitute for a red, perhaps. Water is reactivating and only taking the darkest part. It's leaving a lot of this pink behind. So it's not fully taking this, which is a little surprising to me. Pen Flush did everything that water did and a bit more. Now, right about where that little blue splotch, which was a transfer from a paper towel and a different ink, you see some of the white of the paper coming through. So Pen Flush is doing everything that would be needed to get this ink out of your pen. Bleach, as is normal, is completely removing it. There should be no need to use a 1/3 bleach solution to get this out of your pen. For the inks I've tested, I have found an average viscosity of 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Diamine Pink has a viscosity of 2.55, making it normal and just over average. To find my average dry times, I use my writing samples done with the extra fine and medium nib on Clairefontaine, Tomoe River, and Rhodia paper. For the inks I've tested, I have found an average dry time of 17 seconds, with the realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. Diamine Pink has an average dry time of 14 seconds, making it normal, which is a bit surprising because a lot of very light inks have very fast dry times, but not this one. Now, let's look at the writing sample. I picked this ink up in sample form. And to keep my writing samples consistent, I use a Jinhao 159 with a Goulet 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a Goulet medium, and a Jinhao X750 with a Goulet extra fine. Let's take a look at the Clairefontaine. We get no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. Got like an orangey tint to it with the 1.1. I don't see that in the others. They become very pink. It's got like an orangey tint though with the 1.1. The extra fine, it's the same depth of color, okay, but again, it's more pink where this has this kind of orangey feeling. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. It took 9 seconds to dry. The medium is the exact same tone as the extra fine. It has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade, 13 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show it's no color variation. We didn't expect it and we didn't get it. And the smear test, you could probably recover it if you smeared while you were writing. Tomoe River. We get no bleeding, almost no ghosting because it's such a light ink. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade. I'm still seeing some of that kind of orangey tint, which is weird because I don't see it at all in the chromatography. So it's not like I would expect to see that kind of orangey. It's like pink and orange mixed together. The extra fine becomes a true pink again. It has no feather, spread,
halo sheen, no shade. It took 16 seconds to dry. The medium is the exact same tone as the extra fine. It has no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade. 21 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. And the smear test, you might be able to recover this. The medium looks like I could recover it. The extra fine looks like I might not. Interesting. Rhodia. No bleeding and no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. Again, we're still seeing some of that kind of orangey tone with the 1.1. And the extra fine becomes that true pink again. So I don't know what's going on with the 1.1 that it does that. I don't get it. I cleaned the pens out very well between writing samples, so it's not a leftover. And I did not use an orange before this. I was actually using a blue. So I wouldn't expect an orange even if I messed up and didn't fully clean that pen. The extra fine is a true pink. No feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade, 11 seconds to dry. The medium is the exact same tone as the extra fine. It has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade, 14 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it. And the smear test, you could probably recover this if you smeared while you were writing. This is original Crown Mill. Now, this is a very nice laid paper. It has no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. We're still holding on to that little bit of kind of an orange tone with it, but it only shows up with the 1.1. The extra fine, a true pink. No feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade, 3 seconds to dry. The medium is the exact same tone as the extra fine. It has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade, 7 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. Didn't expect it, didn't get it. And the smear test, you could probably recover this if you smeared while you were writing. Black and red notebooks. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade. Interestingly, here on this paper, I don't see that orangey tone. It's pink. It's a dark pink, but it's pink. The extra fine is a noticeably lighter tone with no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade, 5 seconds to dry. Now medium is a very, very dark tone. It is darker than the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shade, 8 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it. And the smear test you could probably recover if you smeared while you were writing. This is Limon paper. Limon papers had a lot of difficulties with inks. We do see spots coming through. They did not make it through. They would not stop me from using the back of the page. They would not touch the page underneath. The 1.1, still that pink. It doesn't give the orangey tones that I saw with some of the other papers. It has no feather, spread, halo sheen, no shading. The extra fine is a noticeably lighter tone with no feather, spread, halo sheen, and no shade, 3 seconds to dry. Now medium is a darker tone than the extra fine, but it is not quite as dark as the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo sheen, or shade. It took 6 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. And the smear test, you could definitely recover this if you smeared while you were writing. And that is all that I have for the writing sample.
Instead of finding inks that look like Diamine's Pink, I would prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. I've chosen Robert Oster's Australian Sky because I thought a very light blue with this was the way to go. Before I give my opinion on this ink, I would ask, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time here, I would invite you to subscribe. So what do I think of Diamine's Pink? It's just a pink with no standout qualities. Now, writing with it reads fairly easy, but on a whole page of writing, so when I'm looking at all of my notes written in pink, it is quite a bit on the eyes to have to deal with. But I think this is a great ink to use along with something darker, so that this is the complement on the page, not the primary ink that you're using. Thanks for watching.